New girl's incredible strength exposed. School bully learns a life-changing lesson in 30 seconds. Mia stood backstage, her heart pounding like a drum. The gym was packed, the audience buzzing with nervous energy. The annual charity fundraiser was her moment to share her family's story, their struggles, and the light they clung to despite it all. Her father's job loss weighed heavy on her shoulders. Thoughts of her younger siblings, their hopeful faces, flashed in her mind. Could she really do this? Could she make a difference? As the spotlight hit her, nerves danced in her stomach. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of her mother's love wrap around her like a comforting blanket. Her mom had always said, "Resilience is born from love and struggle." Those words pushed her forward. Mia's voice echoed in the quiet hall. "This year has been really tough for my family. My dad lost his factory job, and it feels like everything is slipping away. But we haven't lost hope." Her fingers trembled as she gripped the microphone, but the sincerity in her words filled the room with a hopeful energy. Just as she began to elaborate on the community support that had cradled her family, Jake, the school's rich bully, sneered from the back. With his smug grin and perfectly styled hair, he was every bit the stereotype of privilege until his laughter rang out like a harsh bell shattering her brave speech. "Yeah, right. Like anyone cares about your tears." He shot back, his words slicing through the atmosphere like a cold wind. Gasps replaced the murmurs of solidarity. Mia's heart sank. The tension was palpable. Students shifted in their seats, discomfort etched in their faces. Yet, something flickered in Jake's eyes, a glimmer of vulnerability. Was he really as invincible as he thought? His facade cracked just for a minute, and Mia recognized the fear lurking behind his bravado. The weight of expectations and the pressure to maintain his family's legacy raged within him, and it reminded her of her own battles. Mia squared her shoulders, a sudden resolve blossoming in her chest. "Jake, I get it. You think it's easy to judge when you've never walked in someone else's shoes. But we all have our own struggles. We push forward hoping for acceptance. Just like you," she said, her voice infused with compassion instead of anger. A silence fell heavy. The audience held its breath. Whispers traded among students, sensing the shift in the dynamic. Would this moment of truth awaken humanity in Jake? Or would he retreat deeper into his world of privilege? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Suddenly the atmosphere buzzed with possibility. Could this act of kindness change their fates? Could Mia's vulnerability offer Jake a way out from under the heavy weight of his expectations? It felt like everything hung in the balance. And in that moment, Mia and Jake stood together on the edge, their futures intertwined by unspoken truths. Would this pivotal moment reshape their lives and their community, or would they go back to the same old roles? Only time would tell. As the crowd watched in breathless anticipation, their silence echoing long after the final words had been spoken. The air felt electric, charged with the tension that hung between Mia and Jake. The crowd had been drawn into a moment that felt surreal. Never had they witnessed such vulnerability from Mia, and Jake's response seemed teetering on the edge of something profound. Mia could see the conflict brewing in Jake, an internal battle playing out on his face. His confident smirk had faded, replaced by uncertainty. "You think you know me?" He shot back, but the defiance in his tone sounded hollow, almost desperate. For just a heartbeat, the cruel bully appeared small, vulnerable, and lost. "I don't know you," she replied, her heart racing. "But I know what it feels like to fight for your family. I know fear, and I know what it's like to feel trapped by expectations." She paused, hoping he could hear the truth in her words. "You don't have to be who everyone thinks you are. You can choose." Jake shifted uncomfortably, looking away as murmurs scattered through the audience like leaves in the wind. Students exchanged glances. What would happen now? Some leaned forward as if drawn into the intensity of the moment. Finally, Jake's voice broke through the murmurs, quieter now, laced with unforeseen emotion. "You think I can just choose?" "Yes," Mia said, feeling a flicker of hope. "You can. It's not easy, but maybe that's the point." The silence wrapped around them, thicker than before. Mia felt a tightening in her chest, willing him to understand. For the first time she could see a glimpse of a different Jake, one who was not merely a bully locked away in his own golden cage. As time slowed, Mia's awareness expanded to the audience. Faces that had once expressed fear now showed curiosity, empathy. The realization that a barrier might be breaking began to sink in. Differences seemed less daunting, and the pretenses of superiority were just that, facades. But then the moment turned. Jake's expression hardened again, the storm brewing within him clashing with the sincerity of her plea. "My life is not a charity case, Mia," he yelled, bitterness pouring from his lips like poisoned honey. The warmth that had touched the room moments ago receded. Students froze, holding their breath, the danger of his words slicing through the air. Could they go back to normal after this? Could they accept a change in Jake? Mia felt her legs wobble as the battle in his eyes waged on. Could she stay strong? Was it worth the risk? She couldn't walk away now, not after exposing herself to him like this. "I'm not saying it is," she countered. "I just want you to see that behind every smile, there's a story, a struggle. We're all fighting something." He opened his mouth, seemingly torn between anger and understanding, but the battle raged on in silence. It was as if the entire gym held its breath, waiting for his next move. Just then a small voice broke through the tension. "Mia's right. We all have things we hide," called out a younger student from the back. The bravery in that voice, the willingness to stand up, ignited whispers throughout the gym. Suddenly more voices joined the chorus as if a dam had broken. A wave of solidarity surged among the students. They were tired of the roles they'd been assigned, tired of the masks, tired of not being seen. Mia couldn't help but smile as she looked around. Hope pulsed in her heart. Maybe, just maybe, Jake was about to be enveloped in something more powerful than ridicule. But just as it seemed Jake might reveal his truth, he shot her a glare filled with rage and hurt. "You don't understand anything." He spat before turning sharply and storming out of the gym. The door slammed behind him, leaving an echo of uncertainty. Mia's shoulders sank. Had she failed? The room buzzed with ongoing whispers, concern carving the faces of her classmates. She knew this was a turning point, a fracture that could either bring them closer or deepen the divide. With Jake gone, the gym felt emptier, yet filled with unspoken possibilities. What did his outburst mean? Would he choose to confront his fears, or would he further isolate himself in anger? As the night wore on, Mia felt the weight of the moment press down on her. What would tomorrow bring now that the illusion of invincibility had cracked? Drawing a slow breath, she began to gather her thoughts. She couldn't shake the feeling that the real battle was just beginning. The gym felt different without Jake. The air was thick with confusion and budding bravery now mingling with doubt. Mia stood in front of her classmates, their faces flickering between admiration and worry. Some students who had shied away from confrontation moments ago were now talking animatedly, processing what had just happened. A few were daring to share their own stories, but Mia's heart weighed heavy. She hadn't intended to ignite a wildfire of emotions. She just wanted to connect, to reach the boy who wore a mask of toughness, hiding the hurt beneath. But what if instead she had just thrown gasoline on his fire? "Is he going to be okay?" Someone whispered near the back. Mia turned, locking eyes with Samantha, a girl she knew had faced her own share of battles. Mia nodded, though uncertainty crept into her mind. The crowd began to shift, breaking into smaller groups. Some students shared quiet conversations, while others stood awkwardly, glancing around as if they weren't sure what to do next. Unsure how to keep the moment alive, Mia felt like an imposter in her own victory. "We need to talk to him," Mia said, voice steadying with determination. "We can't let this end now. Not like this." "Who's we?" a voice piped up from somewhere in the back. It was Chris, a classmate known for his snark. "You mean you're going to chase down Jake by yourself? He's probably laughing at you right now." "Why would he laugh?" Mia replied, irritation pricking at her. "He's hurting just like so many of us. It's time we help each other, not tear each other down." Her passion hung in the air, urging others to step forward. She was surprised to see Samantha raise her hand tentatively. "I'll go with you," she said. "I've had my own battles with him. Maybe if we show him we care." The notion caught on like wildfire. Others began to nod, their hearts breaking free from the chains of past resentment. Slowly, a group coalesced around Mia, Samantha, Chris, even a boy named Jason who she barely knew. They were ready to pursue the truth, ready to show Jake he wasn't alone. "Okay, let us go," Mia said, her spirit lifting with the growing support. As they walked toward the door, excitement mingled with nerves. The uncertainty of what they might find haunted the hallways, and yet, something else pulsed within her. Hope? They gathered their courage and stepped outside. Chill autumn air hit them, wrapping around their shoulders like a comforting jacket as they made their way to the parking lot where Jake's car was parked. The sight of the sleek vehicle brought Mia's confidence to a halt. What would they say? Would Jake even listen? "Hey," Samantha nudged her. "You okay?" "Just nervous," Mia admitted, glancing back at her friends. They shared the same trepidation, but their resolve pushed her forward. "What if he shuts us out? Then we'll be there anyway," Chris said. "He needs us to take that step." Heart pounding, Mia approached Jake's car, her breath in her throat. If this worked, it could change everything, but if it didn't, it could decimate any courage she'd built up. Just then the door opened and Jake stepped out, eyes blazing. "What do you want?" he barked, his expression unreadable. Mia took a deep breath, ready to delve into the chaos that lay ahead. It wasn't just about Jake anymore. It was about every student, battling their silent wars. "Jake," she started, heart racing. "We came to talk, really talk." But before she could finish, another voice cut through the air. "Mia, wait. You might not want to do this." Her heart sank. Who was stepping in now to stop them? The unknown loomed before her, swirling with anxiety, but Mia was determined. She took a step closer to Jake, and the rest of her friends followed suit. A new chapter was about to unfold, one that held the potential for change, or could plunge them deeper into conflict. "Let us figure this out together. Please," she prompted again, hoping they could break through the storm inside him before it took control once more. But what if the moment she sought to create only embedded the lines of fracture deeper? Would Jake truly listen, or would history repeat itself in a far more painful way? The air thickened with tension as Mia's voice echoed in the silence. The group stood close, each heartbeat resonating with the uncertainty of the moment. Just as Jake's intensity filled the space, another familiar voice piped up again. The voice belonged to Tony, the boy who always seemed to be lurking at the edges of the crowd. "Seriously, Mia? You think he's just gonna change overnight like some fairy tale?" Tony sneered, crossing his arms defiantly. "He'll just mock you. You know that, right?" Mia's confidence wavered, the hurtful words striking true. But she couldn't let Tony derail them. "That's exactly why we're here, to show him a different path. He's not just a bully. He's a person with a story." The moment hung still as a raindrop before a fall. Jake narrowed his eyes, searching their faces. And then something softened in him. For a split second, he let down the barriers, revealing the boy beneath the bravado. "What do you know about my story?" he shot back, his voice less harsh now but still edged with mistrust. Mia took another step closer, feeling the warmth of her friend's presence behind her. "We all have battles, Jake. Everyone here understands that pain never truly goes away unless you face it. Please let us help you." An uncomfortable silence filled the air, the energy shifting. Jake glanced at the ground, his fists clenching and unclenching. Mia noticed the cracks of vulnerability in his tough facade. Every second that passed felt like a heartbeat echoing in a cavern. "Don't you think we all deserve a shot at being better?" Jason jumped in. "You taught us fear, but we want to teach you strength. Don't you want that?" The eyes of their classmates darted between Jake and Mia's group. Suddenly, the crowd was no longer distant. They felt alive with anticipation. It was as if the weight of so many unspoken words surged around them, pushing against the silence. "I don't need your pity," Jake muttered, but the slight tremor in his voice betrayed him. "Maybe it's not pity," Samantha said softly, stepping into the light. "Maybe it's just understanding. You think we haven't seen how hard it is? We're here because we care, and we want to share that strength with you." Mia felt a flicker of hope. Was there a spark waiting to ignite behind Jake's hardened eyes? "Like I said," Jake replied, frustration bubbling up again. "What would you know about me?" And then it happened, a crack in his armor. It was small but unmistakable. Mia saw the desperation in his eyes, the yearning for connection hidden beneath layers of hurt. "I can't trust you." I know it's hard, Mia said softly, her voice steady. But every journey starts with one small step. We just want to be that first step, Jake. A moment of quiet fell, heavy yet hopeful, as the world around them faded, leaving only Mia, Jake, and the dawning possibility of understanding. Then, unexpectedly, Jake shook his head, frustration growing. Why should I believe any of this? Why should I trust you? Before Mia could respond, Tony interrupted once more. His voice harsh and derisive. Dude, save yourself the trouble. They'll just turn their backs when things get tough. Better to be alone than to get burned. Mia's heart raced. She watched Jake flinch at Tony's interruption. It was a raw moment, as if the very fear of history repeating itself was laid bare before all of them. Maybe that's true, Tony, Mia countered, her voice stirring with urgency. But maybe it's time for us to rewrite our stories together. We can do that, can't we? Jake looked between them. His expression was a storm caught between fear and hope, anger, and the tiniest flicker of yearning. But before he could finish, a loud crash echoed from the far side of the parking lot. A group of students fell back, startled. Everyone turned, and just like that, the heaviness of the moment fractured, replaced by chaos. Mia's heart pounded louder than the commotion. Would they ever find the words to reach Jake when even a moment could spiral into chaos? What did the crash mean for them all? In that instant, the possibility of change hung in the air. Electric and alive. But would they have the courage to seize the chance, or would it slip away just like that? Let us go see what's happening, Mia urged, pushing through the uncertainty. In that moment, she realized that connection could be clumsy, chaotic, and messy, but it was also where growth began. As they moved toward the noise, Mia felt the courage surging in her chest. Would her determination help Jake step out of the shadows, or would his fears pull him back into the dark? As the group rushed toward the source of the commotion, adrenaline coursed through Mia's veins. She could feel her heart racing, worry mingled with the hope that the moment could tilt in their favor. The sounds of laughter abruptly cut through the air, mingled with shouts filled with both excitement and confusion. They reached the edge of the crowd, and Mia peered through the shifting bodies. A few students were huddled around what appeared to be a toppled display of posters that had been set up for the upcoming talent show. Bright colors clashed with the asphalt beneath them, and a couple of people were trying to salvage the remains. Look, it's just a few posters. Jake's voice broke through the din, laced with disbelief. He stepped closer, his eyes flickering between the chaos and Mia, confusion swirling within. Why are they making such a big deal out of this? It's not really about the posters, is it? Mia murmured, stepping beside him. It's about being seen, about wanting to be part of something. Jake frowned, seemingly uninterested, but Mia recognized the shift in his posture. There was a flicker of curiosity there. She watched as he glanced around at the students, their excited banter wrapping around him like an invitation. For a moment, she wondered if he could feel just how close they were to a breakthrough. Hey, why don't you help us fix this? Jason called out, his voice cheerful and loud. Come on, you can help us get that back up and running. Jake hesitated, eyes darting, still trapped by the weight of his past. Behind them, Tony chortled, yeah right, like he'd want to help. What a waste of time. The laughter that followed sent a shiver down Mia's spine. She turned to Jake. You know they can be more than this. It doesn't have to be just you and them. The way he clenched his jaw told her he felt cornered, stuck between two worlds. And then what? He snapped back, frustration flaring. I've tried before. You really think I'm just going to fit in? Perhaps it's not so much about fitting in, she said carefully, trying to keep her voice calm and inviting. Maybe it's about being accepted for who you are. They just need a chance to see the real you. Jake looked at Jason, then at the scattered posters, his hesitation palpable. At that moment, the noise around him faded, and the chaos turned into a backdrop of possibilities. She could see something in his eyes, a tiny shift, as if a door was cracking open just a bit. I don't remember how to be that person, he finally admitted, startling himself with his own admission. What if I screw it up again? Mia could feel the energy around them shift, the crowd holding its breath, ready to witness something real. Maybe you just start with one step at a time. And no one is perfect, neither are we. But we're here no matter how messy it gets. Jake took a hesitant step forward. What if I let you down? Then we'll help you back up, she replied, her heart swelling with courage. For a heartbeat, everything froze, the world narrowing down to their moment together. The students had quieted down, eyes darted back and forth between Mia and Jake, transfixed by the potential of what was unfolding. Suddenly, Mia felt a collective breath of anticipation. Would Jake take that plunge? Would he bravely choose this messy, uncharted path of connection? In that split second, Jake took a deep breath, meeting her gaze with a spark of something new, an inkling of trust, or was it hope? But just then, a loud whoop erupted from behind them, shattering the fragile moment. Look out! Running start! Mia turned just in time to see a football hurtling through the air, straight toward them. Every heartbeat quickened, fear electrifying the air. Would this be the moment they were all waiting for? Or a crash back into silence? As the ball approached, everything hung in uncertainty like a spun coin, every outcome possible, waiting to unfold. What would Jake do next? Would he rise to the challenge or retreat back into the shadows? Mia's heart raced as she instinctively reached for Jake's arm, pulling him to the side. The ball sailed past them, narrowly missing its mark. A wave of laughter erupted from the crowd, but it wasn't harmless. The jesting voices stung. It was a mix of relief and mockery that cradled the air like a thick fog. Jake froze, his expression a mixture of surprise and embarrassment. The crowd's laughter turned into a teasing chorus. Nice catch! Someone shouted while another added, maybe he should stick to cheerleading. Mia's stomach twisted at the words that followed. Jake looked so small amidst the students, and that familiar cloud of doubt descended over him. She could see him mentally retreating, a wall slamming down to hide the flicker of hope she just glimpsed. Forget them, Jake! Mia yelled, determination powering her voice. She stepped forward, hands on her hips, refusing to let the moment slip away. You didn't let it hit you. That's already a win. His gaze snapped back to her, uncertainty still thick in his eyes. What does that even mean? It was a fluke. No, Mia insisted, her resolve filling the space. You faced it. You didn't hide. And that counts for something. You're stronger than you think. Something cracked within him, the stubborn edge of reality shifting. The weight of judgment from the crowd pressed heavily. Yet in Mia's words, he sensed a small determination growing in the corner of his heart. Jason stepped in, his voice cutting through the low murmurs. Hey, that was cool, though. Who knew Jake could dodge a football? He grinned, sparking nods of agreement from others in the group. Slowly, the laughter became more wholesome, fueled by amusement rather than mockery. Jake's shoulders relaxed just a touch. He stole a glance at Mia, her bright eyes steady and unwavering like anchors in a storm. She was on his side, and somehow that felt like a lifeline. As she scanned the crowd, she caught Jason's encouraging smile. Don't let it get you. Everyone has off days. We've all been there. Taking a deep breath, Jake felt a flicker of warmth shatter some of his walls. The enticing pull of connection began to outweigh the fear he held onto for too long. This wasn't about fitting in perfectly. It was just about being real, feeling a little bit alive. Okay, he muttered, surprising himself. What do I do next? Mia brightened significantly, her spirit sparking like sunlight breaking through gray clouds. Help us put the posters back up. Show everyone you care. Just one small act. It'll feel good, trust me. With an appreciative glance to Mia, Jake nodded, feeling an unexpected energy surging within. He moved toward the scattered remnants of the display, joining the others who were already working to restore the vibrant colors. Laughter bubbled up again, but this time it felt different. It was filled with camaraderie, rather than isolation. As Jake bent down, picking up a torn poster, Mia joined him, their hands brushing briefly. Let us make this look good, she challenged with a grin, and his smile felt like the first crack of dawn after a long night. Together, they reshaped the chaotic remnants into something worth celebrating. The others moved closer, joining in, and soon there was an array of laughter, light, and an unexpected sense of togetherness. But just as the mood soared, Mia noticed a figure at the edge of the crowd watching intently. Tony's face twisted with disdain, lips curled into a smirk that could slice through the warmth they were building. The air thickened again. Was the fragile trust they were forming about to be shattered? Could one person really change everything, or was Jake about to face another storm? The energy shifted yet again, leaving Mia holding her breath as the unresolved tension crackled in the air. A chill crept over the moment as Mia locked eyes with Tony. His expression hinted at trouble brewing just under the surface, and for a second, the laughter around them faded. Jake, oblivious to the brewing storm, tangled posters in his hands, still buoyed by the camaraderie he'd found. Watch this. Tony's voice dripped with mockery, so thick and heavy it sent shivers down Mia's spine. What are you planning? Mia's question escaped her lips before she could stop herself. The sudden edge in her voice caught Jake's attention, and he glanced up, concerned. Just a little bit of fun, Tony replied, leaning against a nearby tree, arms crossed and a smirk dancing at the corners of his lips. Nothing serious. Just wanted to see how brave you all really are. The air charged, heavy with unspoken fear and anticipation. Jake's brightness dimmed as the tension crackled, and Mia felt her heart race again. But not from excitement. This was a different kind of race, one born of instinct and worry. Mia, maybe we should just ignore him, Jake suggested, his voice barely above a whisper. The strength she had seen in him earlier felt faltering, slipping like sand through her fingers. Not a chance, Mia replied firmly, straightening her posture. You've come too far to let him scare you back into hiding. Let us show him what we can do together. With her stance solidifying, Mia turned back to the crowd and raised her voice. All right, everyone. Let us finish what we started. Tony wants attention, but let us give our energy to this instead. The buzz of activity resumed, a ripple of energy washing away some of the dark weight that lingered. Slowly, others joined in, picking up torn papers and tacking them back onto fences and walls. But Tony took a step closer, his voice dripping condescension. Oh, look at you all. A little post-fixing army. But what if I told you? Jake, doesn't he belong here? Jake gripped the poster tighter in response. Mia could see his resolve teetering on the edge. It's easy to say things when you're hiding behind insults, Mia shot back, her heart pounding. But the real strength is in coming together, not trying to tear each other apart. Tony laughed, a cruel hollow sound that echoed off the walls. Is that what you think? You'll find out soon enough. As he turned away, seemingly satisfied with the chaos he'd sown, Mia pierced his back with a hard stare. Jake hesitated, searching Mia's face for reassurance. She saw the flicker of uncertainty in his eyes, that familiar storm threatening to engulf him again. What if he's right? Jake asked. What if I don't belong? Mia stepped closer, her gaze unwavering. You do belong. You proved it just now by facing down that ball. Yes, you're here. Share your strength with us. He swallowed hard, feeling the weight lift slightly. Tony's voice rang out again behind them. Don't let a cheerleader fool you, Jake. You're not cut out for this. Stick to what you know. Mia inhaled deeply, steadying herself. That's not true. We make this place better together. We lift each other up, don't we, everyone? The crowd, a unified mass of energy, erupted in cheers. One by one they shouted out support, and the echoes bounced off the high school's walls raw and real. Jake felt the energy swirl around him, buoying him with the truth of their collective spirit. See, Mia said, nudging him gently. You're part of something much bigger than what one bully can say. Embrace it. Just as he started to smile, fresh murmurs rippled through the crowd. The news traveled fast as Tony made a beeline toward a group of the older kids. What was he planning now? Mia clenched her fists, prepared to fight this battle for Jake and for herself. The laughter had transformed into a heavy silence again, leaving Mia expecting the worst. Did you hear what he just told them? Jake's face drained of color. What if he gets them to turn against us? Mia's heart raced once more, feeling the stakes rising. No more waiting for someone else to protect you. Let us face this together. The weight of their resolve filled the air. But could it be enough? The crowd held its breath, ready for the next move in a game they hadn't chosen. Just how deep would this fight go? Mia steeled herself, uncertain of how much power one voice could carry against the tide of doubt rising around them. Mia's heart felt like it was caught in her throat as she watched Tony approach the older kids. Every step he took seemed to sap the laughter from the air, substituting it with thick tension. She could practically see the gears turning in his mind, plotting out the chaos he intended to unleash. Stay close to me, Jake, she urged under her breath. The rumble of hushed whispers spread through the crowd, igniting anxiety. She could feel their collective pulse quicken, uncertainty clinging like fog. Guys, shouted Tony, his voice slicing through the murmur like a knife. Let me tell you something fun about our new friend. He gestured towards Jake, who appeared to shrink under the spotlight. He thinks he can hang with us. Well, what do you think? Is he really one of us? The older kids exchanged glances, some smirking, others shrugging, and Mia's gut twisted. She could see the skepticism forming in their expressions. They were a different breed, much more susceptible to Tony's taunts. Shut up, Tony, Mia called out, her voice shaking but fierce. Jake is showing real courage. If you can't respect that, you're the weak one. The crowd shifted, the air dancing with disbelief and surprise. Jake looked at her, a mixture of gratitude and fear flooding his eyes. What if they don't believe me? He whispered, half to himself, half to her. They will, Mia insisted, her resolve strengthening. You just need to show them. Remember how you stood up for yourself. You can do it again. But even Mia couldn't shake the unease gnawing at her. Jake was still an unknown quantity in this group. What if Tony's words wormed their way into their minds? What if they saw him as he had been seen before, just the awkward kid who didn't quite fit? Look, it's not just that he doesn't belong. It's that he can't do this. Tony continued, his tone mocking, and Mia's heart sank deeper. That's enough, Mia shouted, stepping forward. She felt her courage like a fire, brightening even the darkest of their surroundings. We're all here trying, right? Why drag someone down when we could lift each other up? Tony rolled his eyes, frustration bubbling up in his smirk. You think that's brave? Go ahead and cheer for your little team. Let us see how long that lasts when the real challenge shows up. Suddenly, a hush descended over the crowd. Mia's heart raced. Was he about to reveal something horrifying? Something meant to ruin Jake entirely? She scanned the scene around her, searching for assurance. Just then, Jake took a deep breath. It was as though time itself had paused for him. You can say whatever you want, Tony, he began, his voice growing steadier with each word. But I know who I am, and I know what I can do. I'm here and I'm part of this. You don't get to decide that for me. The crowd's murmurs shifted, turning from doubt to respect. Mia felt a wave of relief. Maybe Jake hadn't just found his voice. He had found his place. Yeah, that's right, Mia encouraged, feeding off the momentum. We're all in this together. Least we could do is support each other. But before they could bask in that moment of unity, Tony's expression darkened. Someone should remind you that acceptance comes with a cost, he sneered, grabbing an empty soda can from the ground and tossing it toward Jake in sheer mockery. The can sailed through the air, and all Mia could do was watch, frozen for a moment. Would it hit Jake? Would it shatter the confidence he had built in mere seconds? Just as it looked like it would strike him, Jake sidestepped, the can clattering harmlessly to the ground. Gasps flipped through the crowd, and something shifted dramatically in the atmosphere. Now you've gone too far, Mia growled, stepping protectively in front of Jake. Could this whole moment unravel? She knew they had to take control back. But how? The challenge hung thick in the air, powerful enough to demand action. With a single moment on the brink, was this the moment they could truly unite against Tony? Or would it tear them apart? Mia aimed to channel that fear into something incredible, but she felt the tide turning. Minutes after, would they find the strength to overcome together? Or would they falter before the schoolyard bully's wrath? The silence that followed the soda can's clatter felt suffocating. Mia's heart raced as she stood in front of Jake, forming a barrier against the storm that was Tony. She could see the other kids shifting uneasily, their loyalty teetering between laughter and fear. Tony, back off. Another older kid shouted, surprising everyone. It was Derek, someone far too cool to care about conflicts like these. His defiance ignited a spark of hope in Mia. Maybe they'd turn this around. But Tony was quick, his mask of cool confidence still intact. Oh, what's wrong, Derek? Afraid little Jake is going to take your crown? He laughed, a sound that felt sour and bitter. The crowd was caught, hovering in the balance, and Mia felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Mia turned to Jake, her palms sweaty but determination etched across her face. This is more than just you, Jake. Show them what you've got, she whispered. They're waiting for you. This is your chance. With a nod, Jake seemed to breathe in the encouragement. He straightened up, a flicker of resolve lighting his eyes. I came here to be part of this, he said softly but with clarity. No one gets to take that from me. Mia felt a rush of warmth. There was strength in Jake, a reservoir of courage waiting to burst forth. The crowd grew quiet again, intrigued. Maybe there was more to this kid than anyone had realized. Is that right? Tony sneered, stepping closer as if to intimidate. And what exactly do you bring to the table, huh? Jake took a step forward. I may not be the toughest or the loudest, he said, his voice rising with confidence. But I'm someone who stands by my friends. And if that's not enough, then I guess you're the one who needs to look in the mirror. Murmurs started circulating through the crowd, shifting perceptions. Mia could feel the tide changing. They were sensing Tony's insecurity, the cracks forming in his bravado. Yeah, Jake's right, shouted a clueless younger kid from the back, echoing the new conviction that was starting to spread through the crowd. We don't need bullies here. A ripple of agreement flowed through the group, and Mia took a breath of relief. They were ready to rally. She turned to Tony, not letting her fear overshadow her determination. She could feel her heartbeat sinking with the growing energy of the crowd. You want to play games, Tony? Then let us make it a game worth playing, Mia challenged. If you think belittling others makes you strong, then challenge accepted. But you'll find there's more to us than what you see. Can you keep up? For the first time, uncertainty flickered in Tony's eyes. He wasn't just facing off against Jake. He was up against a united front. The crowd murmured louder, and Mia felt hope surge through her. There was power in unity. But just as excitement began to swell, Tony regained his composure, a devious smile creeping across his face. You think you've built an army? We'll see about that. You're only as strong as your weaknesses, and let me assure you. He paused, letting suspense hang thick in the air. I'll find each and every one. The tension soared and Mia's stomach dropped. This was just a prelude to a battle, a storm brewing on the horizon. But she refused to back down now. Jake was holding on to his ground, and they were discovering new strength together. Would they band together against whatever challenge lay ahead? Mia stepped closer to Jake again, whispering just loud enough for him to hear, we can take him. Together. The stakes had been raised, and as a new challenge loomed on the horizon, would their newfound solidarity be enough to hold Tony at bay? Mia felt the thick tension coiling around them like a living thing, pulsing with the potential for change or chaos. The crowd, a mix of fear and excitement, was watching them, all eyes turned toward the unfolding conflict. She knew they were at a crossroads, and the next few moments would define not only Jake's experience but the very fabric of their community. Jake stood firm, uncertainty still flickering in his eyes. But Mia felt the strength in their shared journey. It was moment by moment, choice by choice, building something undeniable. She shot him an encouraging glance, a gesture silent but loud, saying they were in this together. Go ahead, Tony. Show us what you've got, Jake finally said, his voice steady, surprising even himself. The murmur of approval rumbled through the crowd. The weight on their shoulders seemed to lighten for the first time. Mia seized the momentum, raising her voice to rally everyone around her. You think we're weak? You've underestimated us. Each one of us fights our own battles every day, and we refuse to let you allow fear to guide us. The audience echoed her words. A collective strength was building, a wave of resilience that felt revolutionary. Heads nodded and a chorus of yeah rippled through the students. This moment was not just for Jake, it was for everyone standing in the awkwardness of their own struggles. Tony faltered slightly, his bravado wavering. A hint of vulnerability peeked through the cracks of his confidence. You really think you're different? He challenged, but there was an edge of doubt in his voice. You think standing here together makes you special? But the crowd was no longer listening to his scare tactics. Each person felt it, the shift, the newfound courage weaving through them like a vibrant thread binding them together. If we can stand together, Mia called out, we can move mountains. This is where change starts. And just like that, those words struck a chord among them. Students who had once cowered in corners found their voices. Yeah, we want to stand up, shouted a girl at the front, positively glowing. Jake caught the energy, a new light igniting in his eyes. You think we're weak because we're compassionate? It takes strength to show kindness, to offer friendship. We can be our own people, not defined by your perceptions. The tension in the air began to thin, unraveling under the sheer force of unity. Mia stepped forward, feeling boldness surge through her. Let us prove that togetherness beats bullying. This is a chance to write a new story. With each word, the crowd erupted, their applause filling the heavy atmosphere like fresh air. Tony's smirk faltered as the crowd rallied around them. "You're all pathetic." He spat, fury bubbling over. But anger had never seemed so powerless before. Outnumbered by genuine connection and hope that in that moment, Mia saw Jake transform. He stepped into the light, shoulders back, and faced the crowd with newfound confidence. "You might think you can scare us, but we're not afraid. We're stronger than your insults. We're here to support one another." The tide had turned. Students of every kind began to join, chanting, "We stand together. We stand together." The words reverberated, shaking the very ground beneath them. Tony, realizing he was losing his grip, looked around, frustration spilling over into his voice. "You think this is a victory? Just wait until everyone knows your secrets." Mia shook her head. "This is the moment we can break free from that cycle, Tony. No more hiding. You don't have to carry your burdens alone either." And in a surprising twist, the audience felt the weight of truth. They had all fought hidden battles. Everyone had scars and stories worth sharing. Finally, visibly shaken, Tony stepped back, seemingly lost. "You haven't beaten me," he muttered. But it sounded more like a plea than a challenge now as he turned and walked away, leaving echoes of a past that no longer defined anyone. Cheering erupted, drowning out the past. Mia felt her heart swell, her spirit soaring as she looked at Jake transformed, connected, and standing tall. "Together," Mia said, and it felt like a promise stronger than any threat. With each passing second, they had not just faced their fears. They had reshaped their reality. The gym filled with a new energy, a community stepping into the light of understanding, acceptance, and hope. Jake turned to Mia, a smile breaking through the weight that once suffocated him. "Thank you," he whispered, and Mia felt the sincerity deep within. As the night wore on, their journey had only begun. They were stronger together, a tapestry woven with threads of empathy and authenticity. And now they were ready to face whatever came next, not just as individuals, but as a community united. Remember this moment. Now, don't wait another second. Subscribe immediately to the channel to catch every exclusive story that inspires transformation just like this one. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and bring more heartwarming tales to life. We want to hear from you. Comment on your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending, and share instantly with at least 5 friends who need to witness this journey of change. Your support means everything. Don't let others miss out. Only true fans understand how crucial it is to stand by this community and uplift these meaningful stories.